So, you want to build a commander deck. Building a commander can be quite a daunting task. Pulling together 99 cards that work well together under your chosen commander is no small feat. And after 15 years of playing the game, I'd like to think I've learned a little bit about building decks. So here are 7 mistakes you should avoid when building your first commander deck. If you only take away one thing from this video, it should be this tip here. Make sure you're playing enough lands in your commander deck. There's nothing worse than not drawing your third land and watching your opponents play commander while you slowly die inside. The general rule of thumb is to aim for about 37 lands. If we crunch the numbers, with 37 lands in your deck, you have a 91.6% chance to draw 2 lands in your first 9 cards you see. Your opening 7 plus your first and second turn draw for the turn. You'll also have an 80% chance to see 3 lands by your third turn, in which case you should have enough mana to cast a spell, or one of these important cards we're going to talk about next. Now hopefully you've already actioned my last point, as looking after your mana doesn't stop there. The next thing players often forget about is not having enough mana rocks. Mana rocks is the nickname given to artifacts that generate mana. The most common ones being Soul Ring and Arcane Signet. To put it simply, mana rocks are just extra lands you can play during your turn for a small cost. Being able to play your commander or key spells a turn earlier is always important. So, to summarise these 2 tips about mana, you generally want to aim for about 45 total mana sources, about 37 lands, give or take, and about 5 to 10 mana rocks or other mana sources. If you're new to Magic, you might not have heard this term before. What do I mean by having interaction? To put it simply, to have interaction in your commander deck simply means to have cards that interact with your opponent's cards. The most common form of interaction is removal and counter spells. Having interaction with your deck allows you to take out opposing key permanents and protect your own things. In most of my decks, I aim for about 5 to 8 removal spells that can target a mix of planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, and of course, creatures. There are plenty of budget-friendly spells that can target multiple things, so look to include those too. I would also highly recommend running at least 2 board wipes. Spells that destroy everything of a certain type. Blasphemous Act, Wrath of God, and Damnation are the most commonly played options, but there are plenty out there. And our next tip will make sure you have all of these key cards exactly when you need them. Games of Commander are generally won by the person who has the most card advantage or has drawn more cards from their deck. Being able to dig deeper into your deck means you're more likely to find your key cards, mana ramp, and other answers you may need. Every colour has some access to card draw, and I always like to have about 10 cards that draw me cards. These can be split across your instants, sorceries, creatures, and other permanents. If you're able to have cards that offer repeatable card draw effects like the Great Henge, Niv Mizzet, Draco Genius, or Mind's Eye, well, that's even better. Okay, so we've got our mana sorted, interaction locked and loaded, and plenty of card draw, so we're not just sitting dead in the water after a few unlucky draws. It seems obvious, but we need to make sure we've got a couple of ways to actually win the game. This could involve running a combo that wins you the game on the spot, or it could just be a devastating spell or creature that wins you the game. If you're betting on your commander to win you the game, just make sure you have enough support pieces and protection spells to keep them around to do so. Picking your commander is one of the hardest decisions you can make in Magic. It's just like picking your first starter Pokemon, and thankfully it's a decision that gets easier over time the more you play. However, thanks to the internet, it is very easy just to go to EDHREC, look at the top 10 commander list, and pick one of those and away you go. But you might not have any fun just doing that. I would highly recommend having a look through your collection and ask yourself, What sort of cards do I enjoy playing? Is there a legendary creature that fits that kind of theme? Commander is a brilliant format where there is no right answer anyone can tell you. At the end of the day, you shouldn't listen to what others are saying and just pick what you enjoy playing. And if you need some suggestions, well, feel free to ask in the comments down below and we'll do our best to help you out. Focusing on perfection. I've been playing Magic for over 15 years and this still trips me up. I have a silly amount of unfinished Commander decks that I could probably finish up and have ready to go, but the voice inside me tells me it's not ready yet. If you're still working on your first Commander deck, just slap some cards in there and get it finished. The best way to learn if you enjoy your Commander deck or not is to just get out there and play with the deck with some real people. You've just got to punch perfection in the face, whip out your deck, and just start playing. That's about all the tips I've got for you aspiring Commander players. Is there any other advice that I've missed? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.